Hey, I'll get the usual.
Oh, what's new at work?
You know, my boss is kind of being hard on me. He gave me this sudden assignment in London. Apparently, we have to pitch our new portfolio to investors there. You see, my company is trying to expand operations now to the UK, and it looks like London is our first destination.
How far along are you?
You know me well enough to answer that. It's coming. 10% done, so quite a bit to go.
Typical Abby. How are you flying? First class?
Well, my company gave me business class tickets initially, but my boss came in last minute. He intervened, and because of the sudden assignment, he upgraded my tickets to first class, so now I guess I'm flying first class. Sorry, Dan, just give me a second. This is Abhijit. Yes, Abhijit Menon. May I know who's calling? I'm good, officer. May I know the reason for the call? Okay. My address? Okay, whose body? Nivedita Das? Oh god. Yeah, I know her. Oh my god, wait. Okay. So you need me to come to New York? Okay. Yeah, I'll be on the next flight. Okay. Bye.
Abhi, look. Just leave me alone, will you? You would never be able to cope with my crazy imaginations. When it rains, you only see gray clouds, the droplets, and perhaps the dew on the grass. You see, it shatters silence. The droplets look and feel like tears, but they don't symbolize sorrow. It reminds me of freshness. It washes away my troubles. And once it leaves, I know the sun will shine. You see, Abhi, every time it rains, I feel free.
As usual, I just stay there with a blank stare. She always spoke like she wanted to prove a point. This wasn't the first time. She is Nita. Nivedita Das. As she brushed the droplets of sweat off her face, a glint of triumph seemed to light up her gaze. See, I never really knew if I should agree or disagree. But by this time, I had learned that it was the perfect way to respond to her. The first time I met her was at a beautiful bridge by our university's campus. She had just finished reciting a poem. It was a poem about hopes that would forever be dreams. Hi, Nivedita?
Hi.
Hi, I'm Abhijit.
Hi.
I saw your recital and I loved it. It was phenomenal. In fact, I enjoyed every single second. But I just had one question.
Yeah?
Why is it that poems are so melancholic? Or is it that sorrow makes one more artistic? This marked the beginning of all these debates that would follow, and of course, our friendship. As we got to know each other better, she would vigorously debate about everything. Over time, I noticed that she seemed to develop a certain comfort in arguing with my silence. You see, our relationship was filled with petty fights, contemplations, and deliberations. I would always end up losing, though. I never thought I would be this happy to lose.
When one has no possessions that they can truly call their own, they can't grieve over losing anything. What if one has only losses to call their own? Being alone can be liberating. Loneliness is terrifying though, right, Abhi?
She often asked me questions like these that I had no answer for. As she immersed herself in her losses, the joys of childhood she never had, the affection she never experienced, although she seemed to have everything, the stories of bitter loneliness, I found myself frantically searching for questions that I just knew she would hate.
Hey, Abhi, guess what? I've decided to adopt a child. A cute little girl. Not now, but when I'm ready to stand on my own, with a job I like. It'll be just mine to love. Or maybe not. One more Nita in this world? What a horrible idea that is, huh, Abhi?
I never knew how to handle these hypophoric questions. As someone who never had to deal with the scars of solitude, I could only develop a sympathetic affection for her. I never dared to tell her that though, for I knew how she would react to sympathy. How's it going?
It's okay.
What's on your mind?
I grew up lonely. Loneliness is the cruelest thing in the world. And what's even more painful is when you have your loved ones around and yet you still feel lonely. It seemed as if I had everything, and yet I had nothing.
Have faith. I'll never forget that moment. I remember freezing up because I had no idea what to say. No words to assuage her grief. Although I never really figured out how to properly respond to her weird ideas, I have to admit, I loved listening to them. When the topic of love suddenly crept into our conversation one day, you know what she said to me?
Abhi, my take on love is way different from yours. For you, love culminates in securing who you want. For me, it's about sacrificing what you want for others. You know what I think? I think that to love well one must be able to sacrifice.
Although I never dared to ask her how she felt about me, I knew she really liked me.
You know how much I yearn to be loved? To be in love is the best feeling ever. But love brings agony. To be in love is such a foolish mistake. I know you won't agree with all that, but that's how it is. Love should never be a burden for the one who loves and the one being loved.
Pausing the thought halfway, as she often did, she was quick to switch to some other topic, with a giggle that's uniquely hers. In the days prior to us parting, it felt strange to be struggling to cross the chasm of silence that stood between us. She looked into my eyes as if there were more to be said. I just knew she had more to say. But she didn't finish.
You know, Anita, you never share your real emotions. And that's even with me. And it's frustrating. I just want you to let down your guard, express yourself, and just say everything that you have to say. Just once. Please, will you? God, I'm getting tired and sick of this mask that you seem to be wearing that hides the real you underneath.
I knew that was really harsh, and I was expecting the usual debate. But she just stood there with a smile, as if she forgot how to fight back. Did she choose to lose this time? When it was finally time for us to part our ways, I heard the least expected words of farewell.
Abi, we should never see each other again. I don't know the real you in you, and you don't know the real me in me. If we ever were to meet again, we should just walk away from each other, like perfect strangers.
A soothing rhythm of falling rain accompanied outside that corridor. The droplets resembled tiny arrows this time. All this while, I thought I fully knew her. That was when I realized I never really knew her. In fact, she must have not allowed me to know her. Not one bit. It's been a long time since. It's been a mad rush through life, racing against the clock, in quest of various things that I wanted to secure and call my own. As you wished, I never tried to find you. Honestly, I may even have forgotten to remember you, Nita. See, we have kept our promise. Today, I am slowly unlocking these memories from within me. Why am I shivering? Is the rain outside? Nita, what do these strange words you wrote truly mean? Is it that I can never really understand your crazy ideas?
Dear Abhi, I'm gonna keep this short. The sky is about to weep again. I'm getting tired of this rain. I have chosen to end the debates. For good. Let's leave open what we left undiscovered about each other. I'm sorry. I have to leave you alone in the rain. Love, Nita.
Here it is again. The rain you so dearly loved. The droplets that washed away your fears. The pureness that melted your worries. The only being that witnessed our promise. Do you remember when you asked of me on the day we parted, Nita? I have kept my promise. When we met again after all this time, I have forced myself to be the perfect stranger that you wanted me to be. Your eyes were unable to light up with any familiarity with me either. We have kept our promise.
When it rains, it shatters silence. The droplets look and feel like tears, but they don't symbolize sorrow. It reminds me of freshness. It washes away my troubles. And once it leaves, I know the sun will shine. You see, Abhi, every time it rains, I feel free.